Hello everybody, welcome to Professor Nez's channel, welcome to the video. You're going to learn a lot in this video. Have you noticed something different? Yes, you have. Professor Nez, what's your NEZNATION sign? What's our tribal sign doing over your right shoulder over here? I mean, what's it doing over here? It doesn't make any sense. It used to be way like above your head. Okay, calm down, nothing crazy. I'm using a stand-up. I'm standing up right now. I'm using a stand-up. What the hell does that mean? I have orchestrated my mic and my stand here so that I can be standing because you know, those of you who've seen me speak, those of you who've taken my class, you know I'm very, very energetic. I like to use my whole body. I like to use everything I've got to bring you the best that I can. So I've kind of switched things around a little bit. So the NEZNATION sign is right here. But no big deal, nothing to worry about. We're just kind of working on some things in this video. By the way, have you subscribed yet? You haven't? That's insanity. It's absolute insanity. Hello, there's a red subscriber button down there. Don't you want to learn the latest techniques in writing, communication, storytelling, digital presence, branding, imaging, how to tell your story well, how to be an orator, how to be a good communicator, a good writer, a good author. Weekly inspirational videos, folks. How to discover the one thing that gets in your way, how to discover who you truly are and discard the rest. You gotta click subscribe. Hello. Just pause this for a second, or just really, I'll give you a second. I'll just chill here. Did you hit subscribe? Okay, good. So today I want to get into 3 quick and easy tips that you can use when you're giving a presentation. How you can educate, inform, entertain, persuade, just basically just nail that presentation. I'm going to show you that right now. I'm kind of loving this stand-up vibe. I'm kind of loving it. Okay, so it's been very, very well documented that the ability to speak in public, the ability to communicate to a team, to your staff, to your employees, to your supervisor, some kind of sales pitch or presentation, whatever it is, something you have to do for school. I'm thinking about you, my students. Has been one of the most beneficial skills, the most sought after skills, and most lucrative skills that you can adopt and that you can employ and deploy for yourself. So, let's talk about how you can be better at this. Let's talk about how you can crush it. Let's talk about how you can nail that presentation. Whether it's for an assignment, students, I'm thinking of you, or whether it's for work or for a company or for any kind of pitch, or you want to raise capital for your company, you're an entrepreneur, these tips will help. Number 1, the whole idea about presenting, to an audience and the fear, the stress factor, okay? Everybody happens to get that. This is nothing new. Do not be thrown off and don't take it personal. Don't think to yourself, there must be something wrong with me. Why am I getting so nervous? There's nothing wrong with you. Trust me. There's absolutely nothing wrong with you, okay? This is something very common. As a matter of fact, I'm sure some of you have heard this statistic before. Among all the scariest things that human beings have ever endeavored upon, and the long list of scary shit that people have had to do in life, guess what ranks number 1? The fear of public speaking. Death is number 2. People are more afraid to speak in front of people than they are croaking. This is huge, okay? So this is nothing new. This is nothing to be worried about. Actually, Seinfeld made a joke about it, He made the famous joke, the guy at the funeral, when he's giving the eulogy, he says, I'd rather be in the casket than giving the eulogy. So, I'm going to give you some tips on how to better effectively present and be a better, more calm, more in the zone, more adept public speaker, okay? Number 1, the nerves. Don't worry about the nerves. People have been talking about this idea of, hey, when you go out there, picture your audience naked. It really helps me. Don't do that. Okay, just don't do that. That doesn't do anything. Picturing them naked either makes you laugh, makes you feel more uncomfortable, or just creates this really awkward pause. It doesn't do anything. Here's what you need to understand, and this is backed up by science, okay? Whatever you feel on stage, the audience feels as well, okay? It's called energy transference, okay? So if you're comfortable, if you're in the zone, if you're, just killing it on stage and you're presenting well, you're hitting all your points, you're nailing your value proposition, you're actually being specific, concise, and direct, and you're giving your audience value, they're going to feel absolutely wonderful, confident, easy, stress-free as well because of energy transference, okay? So if you're feeling tense, if you're feeling uncomfortable, if you're feeling very befuddled and flummoxed, your audience is going to feel that as well. So here's the key to remembering all this. Here's the key. The audience is on your side. Think about that. The audience is on your side, okay? If you're uncomfortable, they're uncomfortable. And audiences don't like to be uncomfortable, okay? Just out of self-preservation, even very selfish reason, they don't like to be tense and uncomfortable. Here's an analogy for you. Have you ever seen, if you've ever been to a comedy show and you've seen a comedian bomb, one of the most awkward, tense atmospheres you'll ever be in. If you've never seen a comedian bomb, God bless you, because it is just the atmosphere is just fraught with tension. It is very, very uncomfortable and very awkward. You almost want to just clap and laugh on purpose, just so that, just to ease that tension. It's so, so, so uncomfortable, right? Hey, good job. You're very funny. You're very funny. You're very funny. So don't forget, the audience is on your side, okay? So they want you to do well, okay? Even if you think they're against you, they're not. So the only thing that's telling you that the audience is judging you, the only thing that's telling you that people are out to get you is this dude. This dude right here goes into overdrive, right? The self-judgment, the self-loathing, the self-consciousness goes into overload. You guys know my channel. I talk about mindsets. I talk about this being the only thing that gets in your way. Well, this is no different than any other situation where the eternal doubter gets in your own way. So he starts coming in there. He starts whispering. He starts telling you everybody's judging you. Look at all those eyeballs on you. Look at the way they're looking at you. Look at the way that they can see you shake. Nobody can see you shake. Nobody cares, Nez Nation. Nobody can see you shake, okay? Oh my God, they can see the sweat coming. They can see the pit stains. Nobody can see pit stains. Nobody cares, okay, Nez Nation? It just isn't true. Don't buy that story. Think about that the next time you go give a speech. The audience is on your side. They want you to do well, because if you do well, then they feel well, okay? It's a very, very beautiful thing, and I don't think a lot of people talk about this, so it's really important. Okay, the second thing. Don't try to remember everything verbatim. Leave a little bit of room, leave a little bit of flexibility. I know some people I have students, they bring up their index cards, they've memorized every single word, they've practiced, they've probably had really great preparation, and they've practiced, but they've been practicing so mechanically, so robotically, that when they get up there to give their speech, not only does it come off very monotone, not only does it come off very, very detached and disconnected, but God forbid if something happens, if somebody coughs, if somebody sneezes, or if somebody walks in late, God forbid an earthquake happens, God forbid a gnat lands right on your nose, it's going to completely throw you off. Why? Because you haven't left any wiggle room, because you haven't left any room for flexibility. So prepare, do the best you can, practice, but instead of having every single word, every single syllable planned out, do what's called an extemporaneous delivery, okay? It's not spontaneous, it's not completely off the cuff, but it's also not so mechanized and premeditated and prescripted that there's literally no room for flexibility, okay? So it's not so mechanical, and it comes off warmer. So have your concepts. By all means, have your cue cards, have your index cards. By all means, have your index cards. Fantastic, that's beautiful. But I think that if you really go into it with every single word verbatim planned out and prescripted and follow that to a T, something always seems to come up when it's a live presentation, okay? In practice, it may seem beautiful. In practice, you may even hear yourself, and you may say, hey, I sound pretty good. But once the audience, once you get in front of that big, large audience and they start looking at you, it almost seems like all that stuff goes out the window, and you start to get even more nervous, and all that preparation goes out the window. And if you don't follow, God forbid you drop an index card. I've had this happen before. A student drops an index card. They're fumbling through the index card. About 2 to 3 minutes of awkward silence. Why? Because the presenter was so, asphyxiated on every single moment, every single word, and they may not have even numbered their index card. So they're just like fumbling. Where did I leave off? And your audience is gone. Your audience is hasta la pasta. See ya, wouldn't wanna be ya. Okay? So keep an extemporaneous delivery. Trust me. And this happens to be This speaks to you being prepared. This speaks to you doing the work, doing the research, really knowing your stuff, knowing your material, knowing your context very well, that when you go out there, you can deliver no matter what. No matter if an airplane crashes into your classroom. Number 3, here's another really quick tip that I think a lot of people don't think about. Okay, when you're giving a presentation, when you're giving a speech, make sure that you're actually looking at your audience. Now, this is not something to torture you, okay? This is not something, you don't have to scan the room and look at everybody. Maybe pick 1 or 2 people in the audience that you feel a connection with. You can tell intuitively, you can tell when somebody is receptive to your message. It's not that hard to figure out. So you don't have to necessarily look at every single person, but don't look down at your cards, okay? And don't just have this blank stare at the end of the room. I've actually heard professional speakers give this as advice. Just stare to the back of the room, keep just that kind of deadpan stare and focus on one little point in the back of the room. Huh? It's not powerful. That's not very effective. That's not going to reach your audience. And as soon as your audience detects that you're not there, that you don't care about them, because that's what eye contact does, Nez Nation. Eye contact lets the listener, lets the audience, lets your customers, lets your patients know, okay, this person actually cares about engaging with me. Eye contact is the first point of reference. It's the moment of connection. It's that very spark that gets your audience interested and shows them that you want to engage. So use these things. Use these things. It's very, very powerful. Use these things. But you don't have to do it mechanically. Be natural. Be natural. Be okay with that. There's nothing wrong with mix-ups. There's nothing wrong with mess-ups. There's nothing wrong with if you get a little bit nervous and you need some water. You know, don't pull a Marco Rubio. Let me get a little drink. Let me get a little drink. Don't pull that, okay? Just, hey, you need to take a break? Tell your audience. It's okay. It's not like it's never happened before. Excuse me, but I need a second. I apologize. I'll just be 1 second. I just need to get some water and regroup. So what? Anybody who chastises for you that, shame on them. So I hope you found this video helpful. I hope that this, will encourage you to go knock out that public speech, knock out that presentation, and do really well the next time you have to get up in front of people. If you found this valuable at all, please share this. Please subscribe so you can always get notified whenever I post a new video. We're posting motivational, inspirational, educational, fun videos every single week. And also leave comments. If you have any tips, if you have any advice, if you've done some presentations or you've executed some speeches that you feel you've actually learned a thing or two, and maybe something you disagree with me about, or maybe something that you found that maybe I may have missed, leave it in the comments. I read all the comments. I check them out, and I'd love to get back to you and have a conversation about it. Thank you so much, guys, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. This is Professor Nez. We're out.